7 hours of talks, and not much has changed. President Obama sat down yesterday with Democratic and Republican lawmakers for a health care summit. The goal was to find common ground and work from there to reform health care. But the end result was far from consensus building. Our D.C. insider and political commentator Armstrong Williams joins us this morning for our Washington Wrap. Good morning, Armstrong.
Good morning, and I actually watched it.
Well, you know what? So did I, which I thought they kept saying, who else is watching this but us, media folks? And I thought, oh, there I am, a media folk watching it. All right, well, what was your impression?
I found it interesting. I found a lot of substance that came out of it. I did not know much about Lamar Alexander. I thought he was very impressive in the opening statements about why they were against it. His statements about the CBO and the figures were a little off. I don't think anything came out of it in terms of how they're going to get costs down. No one ever indicated where they would cut costs. They've got to get costs down. They've got to do something about the defensive medicine where doctors are putting in procedures that has nothing to do with in terms of things that are absolutely necessary. They're trying to protect themselves against malpractice lawsuits. I actually thought President Barack Obama was very naive in trying to set this up. I think it was a little disorganized in the beginning and a little disjointed. But he did the best he could. It definitely showed transparency. But in the end, I think they're so far apart. And I just actually think that this was sort of theater for the president to say, hey, this is transparency. We included the Republicans. Now we're going to use the reconciliation and we're going to pass something in terms of health care. What that is, we have no idea. And I just think that in the end, I'm sorry, go ahead.
You were talking about the theater, it being theater. Was it not theater also, you think, on Republicans' part, in the sense that they came with their props, with their talking points, not necessarily to really give some feedback and thoughts about the issues?
Well, of course, when it's theater, you must come with your props and your lighting and your books and your documents. And they did. It's just as much theater on that, but that's what they were supposed to do. They were speaking to the American people. They were trying to run browning points. They were trying to destroy any further discussion. They said, let's start over. But you know what was so sad about this, Patrice?
What?
I actually felt that this should be something that should have taken place in June, the beginning of the health care debate. This is something that should have happened long ago. It was kind of strange watching this develop while everything has been exhausted and you at the very end of it. I think it was very telling as you ask yourself, why are we having this debate now when much of the decisions have been made and there's not going to be anyone that will give an inch on this? And the president wants this as his first legislative victory. He doesn't have much to show for his first year in the White House, and he needs a victory, and he's put so much of his stock into this health care.
Well, and at this point, it's still not guaranteed that he'll get this, so we'll just have to see what happens.
That's right.
Armstrong, thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice weekend.
Coming up, Maryland's Attorney General makes a bold ruling.
Agencies in Maryland will recognize out-of-state gay marriages as of right now.
Ask one state lawmaker for his opinion on Doug Gansler's comments.